All right, let's talk USC Trojans. This is a team this entire offseason, really going back a number of months now, that's making good move after good move after good move, whether it's hires, transfers stepping up, bringing in new transfers, recruits stepping up, bringing in new recruits. Lincoln Riley and his staff, the entire leadership team, it's just done a really, really good job. And they've done it yet again, folks. This momentum in LA continues to grow. We'll get into this latest in just 1 second. But first, I'm Nick, that's Andrew, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, talking USC Trojans, a team that's been absolutely crushing it this offseason, and that trend has continued even into April. Let's pull up this report and we'll talk about it more in detail on the other side. This is courtesy of Athlon Sports. While it seemed the relationship between Prosper, Texas defensive lineman Jake Johnson and the Wisconsin Badgers was moving along nicely with some potential for a match in the future, that changed this week when Johnson committed to USC after an unofficial visit to the Trojans last week. USC clearly made quite the impression because shortly after the trip, they were receiving crystal ball predictions on 24/7 Sports to land Johnson. And of course, they've secured the commitment from Jake Johnson. Again, what we've seen this offseason, USC making a lot of good moves. They pulled away they flipped some recruits, pulled away some commits from Oregon, obviously a West Coast rival. Now they're winning up from other Big Ten schools, namely the Wisconsin Badgers. In this case, clearly they're making their mark in the new Big Ten, kind of finding their footing after a rough last season. The trend is clearly your friend if you're a USC Trojans fan, and I'm expecting it to get even better over the coming weeks, months, and frankly, years. All right, Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on all of this. But first, USC fans in the comment section below, as we're getting closer and closer, I know it's still a long way off, but we are getting closer to actual football. It's still, only 5 months away. It seems relatively close in the big scheme of things. What's one matchup you're looking forward to this season more than any other in the upcoming season, right? I mean, there's a lot of games that really jump out at me, but give me one, just one game you're looking forward to more than any other. Maybe you're attending it in person or not. Just give us one game you're really excited about. Put it in the comment section below. But Mize, over to you now. What are your thoughts on this latest move by USC?
Yeah, Nick, I think this is showing that USC is on a great upward trajectory and they're able to capitalize on what they were able to do last year. And this latest commit now actually bumps them up to have the number one overall class in 2026 as far as their recruiting rankings go. But I think the Trojans, they really done something interesting here because the ability to come in to the Big Ten and just start to do a lot of damage as far as being able to steal recruits away from some of the top programs in there, mainly Oregon, but also Wisconsin's been a program that's been around a lot. And they've developed a lot of really nice defensive linemen as well. So it's not like this is, an unusual pickup for Wisconsin to have a good defensive lineman coming towards their program and really, as the article shows, be amicable with them. But for USC, a team that's not really been that great in that category as of late, defense has not been the strong suit of the Trojans. For them to come in and be able to steal away a guy who after not even officially visiting them on an unofficial visit, immediately get someone to commit. I think that shows something important here, and that is the change in defensive mindset of this team, and it's becoming something very, very apparent. This team has been very defensively focused. We're already seeing a lot of big time moves. We saw a lot of guys come in this 2025 class, a lot of new coaching additions that are really starting to pay off for the Trojans as far as getting big time commits. I think this is the latest showing, hey, they don't even need an official visit anymore. They can just meet a guy unofficially, have him come over, and then boom, he's like, hey, I love what I'm seeing here. I love everything about this school. We're going to go ahead and pull the trigger right now. That's all I need to see. And it's evident they've already got 10 defensive players in this 2026 class. A really, really impressive showing by them. And I think it's just going to keep getting better and better. And one other thing now is we've seen them take a, fall back to basics as far when it came to recruiting. The last year of 2025 is kind of a really widespread recruiting class for them. A lot of guys all over the board. You only got 4 guys out of the state of California there, and it was just a really widespread, a lot of good players though. But this season, for this 2026 class, they've done something really, really unprecedented. They have 13 players out of the state of California first. They really hit the state of California hard, and now we're seeing them start to branch out. They're going to the Texases. They're going a kid out of the state of Texas in this latest commit from Jake Johnson. They're starting to branch out and get those players, but the ability for them to stick to their base, dominate the state of California first, and now to branch out, I think shows they have a new strategy, they have a new program they're sticking to as far as recruiting goes, and as far as bulking up on the defensive additions as well. I think something special is going to happen on the defensive side of the ball. I think this latest commitment to the Trojans is more evidence of just that.
Well, yeah, especially when you look at the whole picture, and you kind of highlighted a few points there. But the Hayes Fawcett over on X, the great Hayes Fawcett, phenomenal follow. In fact, let's go ahead and throw up this latest tweet here. Just kind of highlighted everything that's happened with USC over the past couple months. You can see the tweet on the screen here. If you look at a team like the tweet says here, USC, incredible amount of momentum. In the last 12 months, they landed 12 commitments. Of those 12, three top 85, number one running back in the state of California, number one interior offensive lineman in Utah, two Oregon flips, and this is before the Jake Johnson news, right? So we're looking at a team right now and the USC Trojans that's winning in the recruiting game. And I know people get caught up in the transfer portal and NIL and things like that, but it still is a truism college football. It hasn't changed. Long-term success is predicated on winning in recruiting. That's what matters, right? There are teams that can get a lot of transfers and do a lot of good things. The Colorado Buffs, listen, they went from a team with 0 wins to 4 wins to going to a bowl game mainly on the back of transfers, right? So you can definitely get better with transfers, right? Caleb Williams was a transfer, of course. There's been a number of them. But the reality is long-term sustained success, especially when you're trying to win national titles, is predicated on winning in the recruiting game. That's what Lincoln Riley and his staff, that's what this entire USC Trojans organization has done this entire offseason. Look, they've done some good things in the transfer portal. We're not discounting that as well. But the point is, you win in college football when you win in recruiting. It is that simple. It has not changed. It still matters the way, even though people seem to forget about it every once in a while. If you want to win championships, you have to follow the right recruiting strategies and execute on them. We talk about it all the time. Win local, win the state of California, like you mentioned, then go national. USC took that approach. They're doing it while also stealing isn't the right word, but flipping big time recruits from the rivals in conference. We're seeing a USC Trojans team that has fully become ensconced in the Big Ten. That was a big question mark for me, honestly, because stylistically, USC, look, to be honest, they don't belong in the Big Ten. They belong in the old Pac-12. It's just their energy, that's their vibe, that's how they want to play stylistically football. They don't want to play like Michigan. You watch Michigan play, and like, yeah, that's kind of a Big Ten team. You watch USC play, and like, yeah, that's kind of different, right? To be totally honest. But we're seeing Michigan now go deep into the woods with these Big Ten programs and former Pac-12 rivals in the form of Oregon, and they're winning big-time recruits now. This is a sea change. This is a seismic shift. And once this flywheel starts spinning and momentum gets rolling, like Hayes Fawcett has noted here, it is going to get really hard to stop for the competition because they're still USC. They're still one of the top 3 or 4 brands in all of college football. And now that they're winning and recruiting in the Big Ten in their new paradigm, there's no reason to think that won't continue for years to come and that USC will be once again in short order on top of the college football world.
Yeah, Nick, and we talk about what USC and just kind of like a grow on the picture of what they're doing this year versus what they've done in years past. You look at 2024, 17th in recruiting, 19th in the transfer portal. You look at 2025 for the Trojans this past year, which I think was a decent class for them. They're able to get some high tier recruits, but still 14th in recruiting, 19th again in the portal. They haven't really done anything magical in the portal. They've gotten a lot of solid players, but top 20, that's not anything to scoff at, but it's nothing incredible. But now we're starting to see this change in mindset, this ability to go after their state and then recruit the way that, well, at least we think people should be recruiting. Cover your base and then branch out. Don't just go collect talent all across the country. And we're starting to see it in the results here. Number one class as of right now. I know things can change a lot in the coming year, but number one class in 2026 for the Trojans. I think this is a big upgrade for them, a big update, and we're starting to see the results. I think this is something really in the works. I think it took them a while to figure out their trajectory, figure out what they wanted to do, but now we're starting to see the results. We're starting to see the things he talked about. 3 top 85 recruits, Jake Johnson being one of them. I think he's number 71 in the country right now. Number 1 running back in the state of California coming in. Boom, getting the best players in your state, allowing these guys come in. Get that regional people in. Number 1 interior offensive lineman in the state of Utah. Guy not too far from the state of California. Go out and start to dominate those guys. Go a little bit north. Flip some guys from the Oregon Ducks. See who they're recruiting. Get those guys to come into your school. I think just overall, the strategy, I think we may be wrong. It is very early to tell, but I think the Ducks have finally figured out how to recruit and how to recruit at a, excuse me, I said the Ducks. I think the Trojans have finally figured out a way of how to recruit and how to recruit at a very high level. We're seeing the proof of it already early on in the 2026 class.